I was just in jail for a week in Germany.
It is time to balance our economic interests with the natural ecosystem.
We are here to remind you that this is not the future.
Là, c'est Nate Rugh, le 29 octobre à Munich. Cet Américain expatrié en Espagne termine ses études en sciences environnementales. En parallèle, il milite avec le collectif Scientist Rebellion. Pour Courrier international, on a parlé défense du climat et désobéissance civile.
We went to the BMW, it's basically a showroom they have in Munich, and we glued ourselves to a very fancy car, an M8, which I didn't even know what that was before the action, but yeah, it's a very expensive car. And threw some fake oil on it and had a banner and basically, gave our speeches about why we're doing this. And that was the last of a series of 7 actions that we did in Germany in total. And they basically put us in jail to prevent us from continue doing actions. We do have some charges. The question is like, now will it be fines or will it be, some kind of jail sentence? But most likely it seems that we will get fines. BMW was saying that we committed somewhere between $100,000 and $1 million worth of damage, which is totally absurd because at most we might have scratched the paint a bit, but I don't think we even did that. There's no way that we could have done that much damage. I had a concern about environment since I was a teenager. But I had a moment, I think it was 2014, I really had a big moment of anxiety. I was back in the United States for a little while and went to a state park that's like a bit of a nature reserve. And it was just dawned on me how few animals I was seeing. And I just started thinking a lot about what we need to kind of transition from fossil fuels. And I started studying environmental sciences around that time. And then a few years later, I felt like clearly governments are not taking this seriously and are beholden to fossil fuel and corporate lobbies. So at some point, many people around me even told me that, you really need to do something because you talk about it all the time. And there's been many points, but it's definitely a process of seeing how things are going and really taking that on, because I think a lot of people see it, but maybe they're not emotionally attached to what that means for their future. And until you can take it out of something that's just logically, yes, this is happening, to really understanding what that means for the future, I think that's what drives most people to get involved in climate action. It's useful because it shows the structural violence of the system that we live in. When you take nonviolent civil disobedience, you're basically putting yourself in a position of vulnerability. We don't have to deal with as much violence as many other activists in the global south, for example, who are being murdered or being tortured for taking the action to protect their territories, as many indigenous activists have to deal with, for example, in Brazil. But it's still showing that governments would rather put us in jail than actually listen to our message. It's clear to me that they are the most effective type of action. Maybe some people may disagree with the types that we've done, or maybe Just Stop Oil or other groups with the paintings. Clearly, this does strike a nerve with people. Doing any kind of nonviolent civil disobedience, we expect that our opponents will attack us. And that doesn't mean that we necessarily always agree within the climate movement about what are the best tactics. I give no fault to Just Stop Oil for trying something new. Yeah, it polarizes debate, but that's what gets people talking. People taking measures in their daily lives is great, but ultimately, this is a systemic issue, and we don't need people to just start recycling more and driving less. We need them to pressure governments. We need them to take political action.